The task being undertaken by this committee of the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine is to conduct a study on the state of real and perceived liability on research conducted in pregnant and lactating persons. We're going to develop a framework for addressing medical legal liability issues when planning or conducting research specific to pregnant and lactating persons, which is indicated in the statement of task on this study's webpage. On behalf of the committee, I want to thank the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development at NIH for sponsoring this study. I would also like to give some sense of the format of today's workshop. First, we'll have a fireside chat on how product liability considerations affect decisions to include pregnant and lactating persons in clinical research. We'll then hear various perspectives on the risk-benefit decision-making process in regards to the inclusion of these populations in clinical research. In the afternoon, we'll dive into a very important conversation on equity and fairness in research-related injury compensation, hearing from several experts, including research participants and their advocates. The workshop will close with a session examining case studies in risk management for clinical research studies that have included pregnant and lactating persons. I want to note that this is an open, on-the-record session. Interested individuals and members of the press have been invited to attend as observers, but this is not a news conference, and the committee will not be entertaining questions regarding its deliberations or internal discussions. Reporters who would like to talk with members of the committee are kindly asked to touch base with the staff officers, either Alex Hellman or Andrew March, and should plan to do so during a break or at the end of the workshop. I also would like to remind everyone that this is an information gathering session. That is, the committee is in the process of assembling materials that it will examine and discuss in the course of making its findings, conclusions, and recommendations. Therefore, I ask everyone here today to be extremely mindful of the fact that the committee has made no conclusions and is simply using this workshop as a forum to gather information to inform the report. Comments made by individuals, including members of this committee, should not be interpreted as positions of the committee or of the academies. In addition, committee members typically ask probing questions in these information gathering sessions, and those may not be indicative of their personal views. We also will welcome questions for today's speakers from our virtual audience. You can submit questions in the text box, which is directly below the webcast viewing panel. While we will prioritize questions from the committee, we will pose audience questions as time permits. If we don't have time to get to your question, the committee will still review all submitted questions and consider them in our deliberations.